Who farted? Right. So, okay. So this is definitely Sara Gonzalez's face. And it's not surprising. But, maybe it was me. All right. What's really going on?
You had Kash Patel and Dan Bongino
Right.
in this interview. And
Just keep looking up at the sky. Maybe the Lord will tell you what to say about it. That's right, Jesus. Help me, Jesus. There's only two options here. And one of them is Trump Epstein. I can't allow myself to think of that. So it's either, I guess I'm left with two other options. One is they're full of shit or I'm full of shit. And I'm not comfortable with either. What do you mean both, Lord?
the energy that they are bringing is a really different energy from the energy that we heard from them before Donald Trump.
Excuse me, you're on the Blaze. It's pronounced energy.
Was elected, and we heard, Kash Patel was going to release the Epstein files, and there were big bombshells in there, and you wouldn't believe. And now all of a sudden, they're saying some really interesting, in my opinion, unbelievable things. Watch.
Interesting.
You said Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide.
Okay, we saw this part already.
Please.
Anyways, watch this.
What?
Again, you want me to get? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
What the hell is happening right now?
Oh, do you know how excited Bongholio was to get this fucking job? Just the follow-up on this.
In the whole file. He killed himself.
What the hell is happening right now?
Oh, it's just so fucking good. What the hell? Okay. I don't buy it. Okay.
These people been replaced? Are these aliens? Are those cyborgs? Like, what am I watching? It's like,
your entire worldview crumble before you because it was based on a castle of shit built on a mountain of lies. Yeah, what is this, not so great replacement theory? Not only are they trying to replace our voters and our population with Mexicans, they're also replacing our American heroes, our MAGA, America First heroes, with dunderhead pod people who will sell the party line on this. I don't like it. What the hell?
you had not just a man who, you could go through all of the details that make it so inconceivable, right? It's like, but what happened to the security cameras?
Yeah, I don't know why nobody really brings that up. It's weird.
What happened to the security guards?
I don't know, maybe they were taking a nap. It's hard to say. We really don't know.
Why was the guy moved out? The neighbor, what is it?
Cellmate? Neighbor? Fuck me. This is where we turn to the Blaze for high quality news and information. That's right. The keen, the cunning, the insight.
Inmate. I don't know what the hell. I've never been to prison. And so
just hang on.
Have all of these inconsistencies. And after all of that.
Also, you do realize you don't have to be like involved in stuff to know the words when you're talking about it for a living, right? That you do realize that nobody's going to accuse you. Maybe you don't. They associate ignorance with innocence all the time anyways. Like, if I don't know anything about it, I can't possibly be guilty of it.
We're supposed to believe because Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are sitting there like, yes, he killed himself. Please don't hurt me. It's like what it felt like.
Yeah, it was a very uncomfortable conversation.
It was so uncomfortable. I was like, so uncomfortable. I didn't even know. It's uncomfortable looking at both of them anyways, because, Kash Patel, I don't know which eye to look in and where they're going. And Dan Bongholio, he looks like a dinner theater RoboCop without his helmet on, and it's creeping me the fuck out. Okay.
I could feel it just watching. And I was like, all right, Epstein didn't No, he killed himself. Okay, we get the message. It was very, very awkward. I couldn't believe as I'm watching this unravel because, Dan Bongino is someone who obviously had a career in front of a microphone. So he's a very comfortable person when it comes to speaking out publicly.
Oh, so you'd never watched his show? Because I would argue he was fucking terrible. But okay.
In the press, and
that's why I got bounced from Fox.
Well, Fox, that's where he used to work. So it was very uncomfortable, especially because after Patel finished speaking, he just kind of... And it was just so uncomfortable. But listen, here's the thing, right?
He didn't kill himself. He didn't.
I'm going to go on the record by...
This is their side. I would like to remind you. This is the Blaze, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't the fucking View.
I don't think he killed himself.
And the only reason I can think of they would say that is because Trump told them. I don't even know why that... I'm having some not allowed thoughts right now.
What? I'm just now hearing this theory for the first time.
Breaking news bombshell. I'll write a book and I call it co-author with Jake Tapper.
Yeah, original sin. Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself.
It's so bad. It's really bad, Sarah.
It's so bad. Sarah, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's like, I thought it was like bad, but I was like, this bad? Like, yeah.
To Brianna's point, you really could, you could feel the tension through the screen.
You know what? Maybe it wasn't the question. Maybe it wasn't maybe they're just telling the truth and they're very comfortable there. Maybe Maria Bartiromo made a stinky right before and everyone stiffened because it was socially awkward and they didn't want to bring it up. They were just like, what about, so you said that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself and everyone reacted, and how would you respond to that? And so they're both like, did this bitch just fart? That's what you were seeing. Fox edited it out and they ended up with egg on their face.
These guys, it was so uncomfortable, and I'm like, where were these renegades that we saw before they came into the office that were like,
oh wait, yeah,
that was just bullshit, Joel.
We're gonna blow everything up.
Well, I think that...
Oh, Matt. Poor Matt. Do what you can, man. I think that turd polishing is a growth industry in the Trump era.
I've said this before. The same with Barack Obama. Barack Obama said, I am going to close down Guantanamo Bay. And I was like, no, you are not. It's not going to happen. And
why? Because the deep state was storing all the Epstein files there?
I think that it's okay when you're on the outside. And then when you get on the inside and you start seeing...
That's what it is. It's the reality. He got in there. He wanted to shut it down. He said he was going to shut it down while he was there. He made moves to do it. The Republican Congress wouldn't give him the funds to move the prisoners. And you have to get that requires Congress. That's a stated goal. There's a difference between a stated goal that the Republicans stymie, and these guys did this shit to themselves, Matthew.
All these things, all these connections that are going on. I mean, I think that the Epstein thing is way, way, way worse.
It's way, way, way worse
than anyone, even the worst that people think of it. I think it's so bad.
All the more reason to release it. Isn't Donald Trump the greatest leader this planet has ever seen? I mean, if he can't handle it, I guess you're just giving up then? I guess you're going to cede the world to the Epstein crowd, because if Trump can't take him down, nobody can.
And look, what I say about those two guys, I like them both very much.
You mean Epstein and Dershowitz? Or
I mean, you know, we went to something with Kash, and I think Dan Bongino's fantastic. Do I think he's an authentic person? Yes.
So, that said, I think they're both very authentic. I think they're telling the truth in as much as they can without pissing off Trump.
The worst show of lying that I have ever seen. I just don't buy it. And they don't have good poker faces because I believe personally, they're good men. But they're in a position, let's be honest, where when when you're talking about things that I do believe that pertains to world leaders,
one of whom I can think of a world leader that knew Jeffrey Epstein quite well. He'll even tell you how much of a world leader he is, right? Right, Matthew? Holy shit.
They've uncovered something like, holy moly, this is way deeper than...
Holy... Like, what would they discover? What the fuck are you... What do you think they're worried about? They're like, oh my God, Reagan was friends with him. No, they're gonna... What they found is Trump's his buddy. Something we all fucking know.
Even we thought. And when you are in that position, when you are there... we were just saying this outside, right? Like... Dan didn't have to do that. He's making a ton of money. He's massively successful. He's charismatic. He's got everything going for him.
No, he was on Rumble. Relax.
The patriot, and he wanted to get in there and do...
He's a patriot, and he wanted to have a job that was real instead of being a peripheral maggot in the media sphere that they basically looked sideways at. He wanted a real job again. Also, hold on. Let's see, where's this? Okay, this is the there you go. Yeah, here you go. Oh, look at that. Error code on that one. Let's see, let this go here. And then we'll shrink this down. 1 second. Hold on. Shrink this down like this, and then we'll shrink this down. I just want to do this in the middle of everything. Hold on. While he's talking, I think it's important. Yeah, there you go. Sorry, you were saying, Matthew. Just want to play this in a little window here. Go ahead.
Good work. He got in there, and he's not like the scumbags that went before him who had great poker faces because all they did was lie. Right. He looked massively uncomfortable there. Yeah. He did. Yeah. And so did Kash. Kash, and he's a renegade. They just look totally buttoned down, like, oh, how are we going to get through this? It wasn't natural. It wasn't natural. I don't know if we'll ever find out. And that is really, really tragic.
Yeah, I mean, because...
It's fucking tragic. It totally is.
If we don't find out with...
Yeah, if we don't find out what, lady? We don't find out that fucking... like Trump was buddies with this dude, which is well documented.
Presidency with this administration, with the administration that has gone in and been more transparent with the American people than I can ever remember. I don't know.
I don't remember. What have they been transparent about? Besides attack plans via Tinder, listen to me, Signal.
You guys have a recollection of anyone else. And so...
What, honest to God, what transparency? I'm dead serious. This isn't even like, they made the promise of releasing the Epstein stuff. Beyond that, what the shit?
With that level of transparency, it's like, I mean, maybe if you have a JD Vance, but it feels like the window is closing here to actually get, and I'm not just talking about if Jeffrey Epstein killed himself, because I'm going to be honest, I care far less about that than...
Well, this must be the secondary talking point that they passed around.
Care about who the hell was riding on his plane to the island and doing unspeakable things to young girls. That's what I care about.
Sure, yeah. Or who was right? What about this? Let me float this. Let's see. Epstein. Let's see. Plane. Golf. Whoops. Magazine reporter. That's it. I'm gonna try and get this in here. Whoops. Let's go this. Oh, why did I do this? Here we go. Hold on. Trump, Epstein, plane, flight, late, reporter. Yeah. Oh, that's the okay. So. Oh, get here. Well, hold on. There's so much of it. My goodness. Yeah, here you go. Donald Trump named repeatedly in Jeffrey Epstein files. Logs show Trump flew more often on Epstein planes than it was originally reported. Donald Trump used Jeffrey Epstein's former jet for flying. Jeffrey Epstein's pilot testifies Bill Clinton, Donald Trump were on the plane. This is Ghislaine Maxwell's trial. Pilot recalls flying Clinton, Prince Andrew, and Trump on the plane. Epstein flight log: Trump flew on Epstein's plane 7 times. Trump named in Trump flew on the Lolita Express, brought Eric, Tiffany, and Clinton on there. Let's see. And then this is the other one. Remembering the time Jeffrey Epstein rode on Donald Trump's plane. If you'll recall, I know this one's I always have to find the secondary version of this. Let's see. There you go. Jeffrey Epstein party together. Former President Trump says he was never on Epstein's plane. He was on there at least 7 times that we know of. And then he used his plane for campaign stuff. I love this one. Donald Trump accidentally used an airplane that was previously owned by Jeffrey Epstein, because who hasn't? Let's see. Trump, Clinton flew on Jeffrey Epstein's plane multiple times. Flight log: Trump flew on Epstein's plane 7 times. Trump named in Epstein files after 2 mystery. What was this? Flights. The flight log: Trump's DOJ can release Jeffrey. Yeah, they didn't do that. Trump. Trump was worried that he was going to die on Epstein's plane when they were borrowing it, when they were using the plane. He had this fear that he was going to die, and everybody would know he was flying. They were like, well, where did he die? He was flying Jeffrey Epstein's plane. So, hold on. That one story though, the golf reporter was on Trump's plane. He was waiting, and Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and an unnamed underage girl was brought onto the plane. So I would like to see Trump's flight logs.
Now, obviously, whoever was wrapped up in Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. Whoever was wrapped up in what?
Yeah, who was in charge at that time? Do we know who was president and who was head of the DOJ, or if Trump even knew these people? And maybe he could call them and ask them directly, because he's president now.
Happened there, of course, would be connected, and some of that would be a little bit of overlap. But that's what I want. And you would imagine that people like Kash and Dan, I say that like I'm good friends with them.
Buddies.
Just Dan, I was just talking to him the other day. Not really. You would think that those people,
So it's your fault, I see.
Trust. I do think that they do want accountability for those people. So it's like.
Based on what?
Why the hell not just give Americans transparency there?
I think I know why. I lost it. I don't know that they know anybody who was tied up with him.